The escalation between Israel and Hezbollah represents a severe intensifying of hostilities in the region, reminiscent of the 2006 Lebanon war, but on a potentially larger and more dangerous scale. The IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, launched a significant wave of airstrikes yesterday targeting what they claim to be Hezbollah's military infrastructure, including weapons depots and command centers. And the operation, dubbed Northern Arrows, is part of a strategic effort by Israel to disrupt and degrade Hezbollah's military capabilities, and which have grown significantly since the 2006 conflict because of investment by Iran. Now, Iran probably isn't keen for Hezbollah to launch a full-scale response to Israel because Iran has gifted Hezbollah a lot of weapons, essentially as a deterrent. So if Hezbollah uses these weapons now, which can strike well into Israeli territory, then all those weapons will be wasted and will not be an effective deterrent should Israel launch a preemptive strike against Iran and stop Iran's development of a nuclear program, which indeed, apparently, according to rumors, has been given significant assistance by Moscow in return for weapons to help with the Ukraine war. So everything is interconnected here. Hezbollah's backing by Iran has established it as a formidable presence in southern Lebanon and the Bekaa Valley, areas which will still be focal points in this coming conflict. The group Hezbollah has responded to the Israeli strikes by launching a barrage of missiles into northern Israel, including targeted attacks on military installations. This reciprocal exchange of fire indicates a potentially prolonged confrontation, with both sides prepared for further escalation. But this won't be like the Israeli attack on Hamas. Hamas was a formidable enemy, but its tunnels were dug in sand. Hezbollah's are in rock. Hamas had improvised weapons. Hezbollah has a considerable stock of top-grade munitions. The high civilian casualties in Lebanon from the pager and the walkie-talkie attack to now nearly 500 reported dead in a single day, including women and children, underscore the humanitarian cost of this conflict, and the widespread displacement of civilians fleeing the southern regions towards Beirut reflects the panic and fear gripping the country, and the targeting of infrastructure such as medical facilities and ambulances as well as military facilities, as reported by Lebanon's health minister, further complicates the humanitarian situation. Internationally, there's a significant concern over the risk of broader regional conflict, and the United States has urged restraint, emphasizing the need for a diplomatic resolution to further prevent destabilization. However, the rhetoric from both Israel and Hezbollah suggests that both sides are prepared for a sustained military campaign. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's statements about preempting threats, shifting the security balance in the north, and returning the displaced peoples of northern Israel indicate a long-term strategic objective to weaken Hezbollah's influence in Lebanon. Hezbollah, on the other hand, frames its actions as a defense of Lebanese sovereignty against what it describes as Israeli aggression, and the group's ability to strike deep into Israeli territory demonstrates its significant military capability, which poses a serious threat to Israeli security, and something that, in all likelihood, is not going to be guarded by the Iron Dome. This mutual show of force, coupled with a possibility of a ground incursion by Israel, raises the stakes considerably. The regional implications of this conflict are profound. Iran, as Hezbollah's primary backer, has voiced concern over being drawn into a wider war, which could lead to a multi-front conflict involving other actors like Syria and even Palestinian factions in Gaza. The potential for such a scenario makes this conflict not just a bilateral issue between Israel and Hezbollah, but a flashpoint for broader regional instability. And this, this is this ongoing fight, which has been a feature of Israel's identity since the very beginning, since 1948. And now this is at a critical juncture in the struggle for survival in the region, with high casualties, massive displacement, the risk of further escalation, the need for international mediation and a diplomatic resolution. This is urgent, but it's Netanyahu has shown himself to be defiant and resisting all forms of intervention and support. But the entrenched positions on both sides make the prospect of peace uncertain and unlikely, leaving the region on the brink of a much wider war.